Good afternoon. And before we get started on this one, let me just say I'm a little bit late to the party on this one because, it's the summer holidays and I'm looking after my lads, so I've got very little time to cover these stories. Nevertheless, I do think it's an important story and it's one that's been making me get more and more hot under the collar the more I learn about it. But if you want to catch up on what's been going on, I suggest you go and have a look at the Legacy Killer HD's videos on this. I think he's done 3 and he goes into quite a bit of detail. And he's also done a lot of work sifting through the available information. So if you want a detailed information on this, go and check that out. And I'll put a link in the description and up in the top corner so you can click on that as well. And Yongya has also done a video on this, so he's worth watching on it because he's got a very balanced view as well. And what we're talking about is SupMatto. He's a YouTuber and he almost exclusively covers Borderlands. And he's been very hyped for Borderlands 3 ever since it was announced. Now, part of his coverage has included reporting leaks. And this has included gaining access to an apparently hidden Twitch channel which had unreleased stills of Borderlands 3, which obviously you're starting to get into a kind of grey area. This access, though, was as the result of the channel apparently being made inadvertently available to the public by Gearbox themselves. Borderlands fans, including SupMatto, jumped on this, obviously, as they would. And SupMatto reported on it, apparently including some of the stills in his videos, which is one of the reasons he may have got into trouble here. Where it gets really muddy, though, is that SupMatto's Discord was accessible to members of his YouTube channel, but only if they paid him a $5 fee. So that makes things a bit difficult for him. And we'll get into that in a bit. Basically, what we're talking about here, though, is a super fan of the Borderlands franchise, a guy who loves the games and wants or wanted to talk about anything and everything related to them. And the reason I say wanted is because it looks like he's not going to be able to talk about them going forward. And the order of events are roughly this. SupMatto was visited by some private investigators. And these guys, 2 of them, were sent out, it seems, by Take-Two Interactive or 2K. But they sent out these private investigators to question SupMatto about some leaks relating to Borderlands 3. And according to SupMatto, they spoke to him for about half an hour. And then on leaving, his channel was hit with copyright strikes, 7 of them, 6 of which were later taken down. And SupMatto, in his video, wasn't sure whether they were taken down as a result of 2K taking them down or whether YouTube got involved. He just didn't know. But he had 7 and then 6 were taken down. Presumably those 6 were taken down because they weren't really infringing copyright. I don't know, but they went. Subsequently, there's been more of his channel hit, but we'll get to that again in a minute. Secondly, his Discord was also taken down. Apparently because, and I quote, your account was involved in selling, promoting or distributing cheats, hacks or cracked accounts. And that's just not true. It doesn't appear to be anyway. Leaks, which is what he was engaging in, may be uncomfortable for a gaming company, but they're not cheats, hacks, or cracked accounts. And SupMatto talks about this in his video, which he put up on the 6th of August. And he explains how he obtained access to the stills that he used in his videos. And this is what he says. It's not some crafty workaround. On April 29th, the official Borderlands YouTube channel posted the reveal of the Twitch extension leading to the gameplay reveal. And the name of the testing accounts were exposed in that video. And this is the important bit. This was not found by me. not found by me. And no, it wasn't. It was found by others and exploited by a fair number of people, as you would. In short, it was a bloody cock-up by Gearbox. And, if I was a fan, I like the Borderlands games. I've not played them a lot, but I do like them. And if I was a big fan, I could easily see myself following those links and possibly reporting on them. So this could be me. I could be in a situation where my videos were being taken down. Following on from his YouTube channel being hit and his Discord channel being taken down for what appears to be complete bollocks reasons, he took down his own Twitter account, and he explains this, saying that this was because he had a lot of people asking him about what was going on. And the way I see it, it looks like he was just trying to keep his head down. As you would, this would be something that you would start to worry about. And then on August 6th, he put his video up, and I'll put a link into that so you can watch that video. Presumably it won't be taken down, and if it does, then obviously you won't be able to watch it, but hopefully it'll still be up. It could be at this stage that his whole channel may come down, and if that's the case, you're not going to be able to see the video, and you may have to go and do a search for it, because I'm sure it'll be somewhere. But let's get into SupMatto and what he did. And I actually think he did make some mistakes. First of all, he shouldn't have gated his Discord channel behind a paywall. I think this opened him up to having his Discord taken down. There is some dispute as to whether he actually advertised the Discord in such a way as to suggest that he was selling information. And personally, I honestly cannot give an opinion on that because I just don't have the relevant information. But at the very least, he was naive. He probably shouldn't have put his Discord behind a pay gate because he was opening himself up for the kind of attack that he subsequently got. And while I think it's spurious to claim that he was engaged with cheats, hacks or cracked accounts, he did open himself up, as I say, to having something like that happen. I don't think it's fair what happened, but maybe he did leave himself vulnerable. But again, I could see myself falling into this kind of situation. I think most YouTubers could. Most of us are not professional journalists, as the professional journalists like to keep reminding us. Nevertheless, we do have to do things that they don't seem to be inclined to do these days, like leaking stuff about things. And sometimes leaks are important. I'm not sure in this case that the leaks are important, but I do think they're fairly innocuous. And I don't think they've done any real harm. But anyway, that's getting off subject. We don't, most of us anyway, don't have a team of lawyers behind us. And that means it's quite easy to make rudimentary mistakes. We've not got someone saying, oh, you can't do that. So it's very easy to make these kind of mistakes. And I think most small YouTubers out there, small to medium-sized YouTubers out there could easily fall into these kind of traps. The other thing is he probably shouldn't have included copyright material in his content. Certainly not copyright material which hadn't been released to the public. And I think that's the crucial one here. Because a lot of YouTubers use copyright material and they're not attacked for it. Nothing happens most of the time. When you're dealing with game companies, it's often something you can get away with, something you can do. Unlike film companies, who will come down on you like a ton of bricks the minute you put anything of theirs in any video, even if it's fair use. Gaming companies are usually fairly easygoing about this stuff because, well, it benefits them. It benefits everybody. YouTubers get to make videos about subjects that we're passionate about, and we don't have to worry about, having to operate with our hands tied behind our backs. And the companies, well, they get a boatload of free advertising. Even Nintendo has realized this now. They used to be really heavy-handed about these kind of things, and they've backed off somewhat. And now you can use gameplay video when you're talking about Nintendo games, which is brilliant. Thank you. This is the way things should be going. In this instance, though, SupMatto, I don't know, he maybe should have realised that Gearbox wouldn't be happy because he was using copyrighted material and that copyrighted material was being leaked. It wasn't in the public domain. But here's the thing. That doesn't make him some corporate spy. He wasn't trying to steal industrial secrets. At the very worst, what this makes him is maybe a little bit greedy for charging people to access his Discord. And honestly, it feels to me more likely that he was just a little bit naive and blinded by his enthusiasm. I mean, he says this in his own video, and I don't know, maybe he's being disingenuous. You know, maybe he knew exactly what he was doing. But that begs the question, if he knew what he was doing, why didn't he know what would come? Honestly, I cannot see why anyone would have done what he did if they'd have thought about it properly. Because you're going to look at this and you're going to think, well, they're probably going to do something to stop this. And so I just think he got a little bit over enthusiastic and got a bit carried away and did something that a lot of fans will do. You know, fans get very excited about these things and they get driven by their emotions rather than their higher brain functions. But this brings me to Gearbox and Take-Two Interactive and 2K. Because SupMatto isn't a Gearbox employee, is he? He isn't subject to any NDAs, and as such, he's got every right to try and find out as much as he can about a video game that he's interested in, and that he is going to be reporting on. Let's be honest, the games journalists out there, a lot of them, there are exceptions, Jason Schreier being one. Most of them don't bother with this stuff because they're too tightly entwined with the gaming companies. And you've only got to hear about what goes on behind the scenes with some of these companies and some of the reporters to know that reporters often won't report on leaks just because they're worried about losing advertising for their magazines or for their websites or whatever it might be. And so sometimes it's just down to the smaller guys, the YouTubers, to put out leaks and to talk about leaks. And okay, the leaks that SupMatto was dealing with weren't that important, but given that they're not that important, why would Gearbox behave in this way? You know, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't broken any laws, despite what they're saying. They say he's broken laws, but if he had, why hasn't 2K, Take-Two, Gearbox, whoever you want to talk about here, why haven't they been looking to have him prosecuted? I mean, you know, maybe they will down the line, but honestly, I doubt it. Instead, they've engaged in scare tactics because they are easy. Why else would you send goons to someone's house unannounced and hit the guy's YouTube channel and Discord channel? Why? As I'm recording this, SupMatto's channel has been all but destroyed by copyright claims and strikes. He's apparently seeing his doctor for stress, has lost all interest and enthusiasm for Borderlands, surprise, surprise, and his wife is concerned about paying the bills. And for what? Seriously, what exactly has he done that's so egregious that these tactics are warranted? Seriously? Well, as far as I can see, nothing. So he leaked some information and showed a few stills that he shouldn't have. So what? Does Take-Two Interactive and 2K Games actually think that really hurts their business? Do they? Are they that closed in their corporate bubble that that's what they think? Because I'll tell you what hurts your business, 2K. It's these bullying tactics deployed against someone who was probably helping stoke the fires of interest for the game. 2K, Take-Two, they could have talked to him and asked him to stop. They could have even sent him a polite warning email, but no. They sent goons to his house and tried to destroy his channel. And you know what? Probably successfully. This is how the modern AAA gaming industry treats its best fans. Anyway, look, that's my opinion on this. As far as I'm concerned, I won't be buying this game. I can't have that skin-crawling feeling from buying this game. I don't want anything to do with it, and I don't want anything to do with Take-Two, 2K, or Gearbox as it stands at the moment. If something transpires and it turns out that SupMatto was doing something really egregious and terrible or whatever, then maybe I'll change my mind. But as it stands, I just can't. I can't bring myself to spend money with a company that treats its fans like this. It's disgusting. I'm done. I was excited for this game, but they can keep it. But as I say, that's what I think. You might completely disagree with me, and if you do, come and let me know in the comments and we can hash it out. I'm going to go and get myself a cup of tea. God, the AAA gaming industry, what's it become?